This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Wednesday, June 7th, 2023. I'm Gary Dick. New Albany-based tech company vSimple is enjoying major growth, and the company's CEO says there are no plans to slow down. The company, which has developed a workflow management software platform, recently closed on a $2.5 million round of funding. And Buddy Bockweg says the company is on a path to profitability.
We put the business in place in 2021, and over the past 2 years, we had first year growth, let's call it 150%, second year growth in excess of 900%. And this year we're looking at doubling to tripling by end of year. So it's continuing to pick up momentum. We're well past seven figures. It's that unique point in time where most organizations are now very interested in what we do. 5 years ago, people were plentiful and relatively affordable. Now they don't have those luxuries of just hiring more people, so they've got to figure out how to get more work done with less bodies.
White Castle reopened Wednesday in Whiting in the lot previously home to the oldest location of the fast food chain in Chicagoland. The previous 88-year-old building was closed and demolished in March to be replaced with a modern rendition. New technology will also be on display with an automated robot in the frying station and an AI-powered menu board for taking drive-through orders. No positions have been eliminated, the company said in a news release. Instead, employees will have more time to spend with customers. The Little Red Door Cancer Agency on Tuesday said former Chief Operating Officer Mandy Pietrzakowski has started her new job as Director and CEO. Pietrzakowski succeeds Fred Duncan, who retired this week after leading the Indianapolis-based agency since 2009. Pietrzakowski joined Little Red Door as Advancement Officer in 2019 after serving as Director of Campaign and Major Gifts at Riley Children's Foundation. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio. Get ready, West Central Indiana. We're headed your way. IBJ Media, Inside Indiana Business, and the Indiana Economic Development Corporation invite you to the inaugural Engage West Central Indiana event presented by CareSource, Indiana University, and Old National Bank. Tuesday, June 20th at Holman Center at Indiana State University. We'll be diving into talent, education, and other issues shaping the regional economy. More at ibj.com/engage. A lawsuit that seeks to strike down the state's near-total abortion ban on the basis of Indiana's controversial religious freedom law was certified this week as a class action. IIB's Kate Sharon has more.
The legal challenge up for debate was filed in August by the American Civil Liberties Union of Indiana on behalf of Hoosier Jews for Choice, as well as 4 anonymous women who represent a variety of faiths. The lawsuit argues that the new abortion law violates Indiana's Religious Freedom Restoration Act. The ACLU asked Marion Superior Court in September to grant certification of a class that includes all Hoosiers whose religious beliefs direct them to obtain abortions in situations prohibited by Senate Enrolled Act 1, and, quote, who need or will need to obtain an abortion or who are not or will not be able to obtain an abortion because of the act. Judge Heather Welch determined that all of the unnamed plaintiffs in the case share a common claim with those that are named, that there is a large group of potential plaintiffs, and that the named plaintiffs have claims that are representative of the entire class. The Indiana Attorney General's office has opposed the class action status. This is the second case involving the ban. In January, Indiana Supreme Court justices heard a case against the ban based on liberty and privacy rights. They have not issued a ruling. Kate Sharon, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Fort Wayne Metals announced Tuesday it has acquired equipment to begin its own tantalum wire production from Austria-based manufacturer Plancy SE. Financial terms of the acquisition not being disclosed, but the company says it plans to add about a dozen jobs as a result. Tantalum is a refractory metal that the company says is well suited for demanding environments because of its overall durability and resistance to heat and corrosion. Fort Wayne Metals decided to acquire the production equipment after Plancy, a longtime supplier of tantalum wire, decided to terminate its tantalum operations. The company says having the equipment in-house will allow it to better serve new and existing customers in the capacitor market and medical device industry. Realtors, housing specialists, and business owners talked about how their state and local government involvement could better the state of housing development at Tuesday's Rural Housing Summit in French Lick. Well, concerns of available and affordable housing continues to be a top priority for Hoosiers. State Representative Doug Miller.
Conservatively, we have a vacancy of 200,000 living units that we need in this state today, let alone the jobs that are coming, the people that want to live here, and the quality of life that people want to enjoy here in Indiana.
Representative Chris May doubled down on that sentiment, saying he wants to see more local leaders becoming involved in solving the problem and using allocated funds to build more housing. NetLogic's founder Audrey Taylor is my guest this week on the Business and Beyond podcast, presented by PNC. It is a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, entertainment, and beyond, and it's available from your favorite podcast provider. This is Gary Dick for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.